Welcome to today's video, you guys. Today I am feeling spring. It's Saturday. It's hard not to feel spring in Florida. It's starting to really heat up. So I wanted to put on some makeup, testing a new palette. If you guys are new to my channel, I have been hauling a bunch of indie brand shadows. I've just been getting into them a lot lately, and I've done a couple of hauls on my channel recently. I'll try and link them up in the cards, but I'll also put them in the description box. I have been doing a bunch of like swatching of the palettes that I picked out, but I had two more palettes arrive to me, and one of them I opened and literally could not wait to get onto my eyes. And it's a fairly new release anyway. I want to say this palette came out like a maximum of 3 months ago. It probably came out in like the earlier part of February. So I thought I could still feature it on my channel, but just create a fun spring look with you guys. So we're going to be playing with the, hopefully I'm pronouncing this correctly, the Dieverune Cosmetics Gloomy Gardens palette. This for me is like the epitome of spring, and you can really see a look in each of the columns, which is really nice. Dieverune is a fairly new brand as I understand it. It's a brand from a creator, M. Jones, over on Instagram. I don't know how I came across like this palette and this brand in particular in my search for indie brands, but I did. There are a bunch of other creators that have already tested this palette, done swatches in their review on their channel, but I wanted to do the video before I even knew how old this palette was. I didn't realize it was kind of a new release, but it just spoke spring to me. Again, you guys, you can really see looks in each one of these columns. Like, it makes a ton of sense to go down the rows. I want to do a little bit of a different style today, but I love that you get these very light, desaturated shades in the middle that scream like lighter spring tones, and then like corresponding rows or shades up here that are darker. So if you wanted to do a deeper look, you could. That to me encompasses a good eyeshadow color story, and then also kind of these corresponding shimmers down below. I am not affiliated with this brand at all, and I do not have a discount code. However, I will find some for you guys, and I will list it in the description box in case you guys are interested in checking out this palette. I'm sure there are other creators out there that have discount codes, so I'm not sure if they're affiliated or not, but I will be linking them in the description box so you guys can get a little bit of a discount. It's usually like 10% off. So let's dive into talking a little bit about this palette. I did do close up for you of the color story and then also some swatches. So I mentioned to you guys it's a fairly new palette. It probably came out in the earlier part of February. It retails for $66 US. This is only the second palette release from this brand. The Moth and the Moon was the first palette that came out. I did not test that one. The description of this says on their website that it's a pessimistic palette of your dreams. Gloomy Gardens has 15 grungy floral shades, 10 buttery mattes, and 5 duo and multi-chromes. These shimmers are dimensional, shifty, and unique, while the mattes are perfect for simple or intricate looks. This is all vegan and cruelty-free. These pans are magnetic. Even though the shades are not listed on the inside of the palette where the shades are, they are listed on the back. And if you guys remove the pans from the palette, they are listed on the back with a sticker on the actual pan itself. So if you wanted to create your own palette, you could see the shade on the back of the magnetic pan. I am going to apply this without speeding through the process here. I'm pretty sure I know what look I want to create already. I want to take this like tangerine shade right here. Hopefully the camera's not washing it out, and use it all over as kind of my base. I hope that it's nicely pigmented because I want to mix it with this deeper burgundy shade and like fade those two colors in together and then put it in the outer corner. I just think that would be so beautiful. If you guys have ever heard me talk about pairing colors together, like I'm a huge fan of pairing oranges with burgundies and then putting like an orange shimmer all over the lid. However, I want to bring this purple, I think this is a multi-chrome in. This particular shimmer just looks absolutely shifty and absolutely stunning, and I feel like it would pair really well with this deeper burgundy shade here in the outer corner. Let's get to starting with this tangerine shade. And by the way, my eyes are unset. I do not think I'm going to set them today. I want this orange shade like really high up. If it's not intense enough, I probably will go in with that deeper orange shade. Yeah, I think this is a little bit of a wash of color on my skin tone. So I think I'm gonna deepen it up with that deeper orange shade. I think I'm gonna use the same brush and just deepen it up. Again, I want to go pretty high because I'm actually gonna fade that burgundy shade into this orange shade into the crease and in the outer corner. And hopefully I know what I'm doing here, and this turns out like exactly how I'm hoping it does. That was a pretty fluffy brush, and I'm taking one that's fluffy but smaller. This is like a tighter crease brush, and I'm gonna go into that burgundy shade now, and I'm gonna start putting it pretty densely in the crease. Ooh, I think this is gonna look good. I'm trying to be pretty precise with the intensity of this shade, like in the crease, and then I'm gonna buff it upwards because I really want it to fade into that orange shade, because if it doesn't, you're not really gonna see this crease shade once I kind of like open my eyes, I think. So far, this is blending super nicely. One thing I always worry about with all my creases, and you can kind of see it skipping, but we're gonna buff it out, is when I use tighter brushes like this, they skip across my skin, and if the shades aren't blendable, I won't be able to get that like skipping out. Sometimes mattes have too much tack to them, where they kind of like stick to the skin, and then they don't have a blendable quality about them. I don't think that's the case with this. Like, these are perfectly pigmented. I have to bring this one a little bit higher because this is the eye that droops. I shouldn't say droops. It's just my hood is farther down on that side. Okay, I think that's good. I want to take that same fluffy brush and then buff this maroon shade. It's coming out like more plum on my eyes, which happens a lot. When I get a deeper burgundy or like maroon shade, a lot of times it will come out really purple on my skin tone. I did not pick up any more color, but I'm going to. I'm gonna take that deeper orange and just like buff the edges of that, what now looks purple. And I'm just going to blend until these two look really good together. Ooh, I think that's gonna look fire, just fire. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. I'm just starting to buff the edges before I go back in and then add more of the orange shade. But this one I feel like is a little bit more skippy than the other one, so I might have to go back in with that burgundy shade. Yeah, I think I do. See how skippy it was across my hooded lid? Do you guys get that? Or is it just me? Yikes. Actually, I think it blends out really well. I'm really excited so far. Right now I went back in with that orange shade and I'm buffing these two together. I'm not leaving like a huge space between my brow. I want to marry these two shades together, so I don't really want to leave like a huge space. And that orange shade is actually quite light too, so I feel okay about it. Ooh, I feel like this is gonna look really pretty. I kind of had like a little bit of skippiness right here. Okay, I just took this more dense brush to buff that purple shade in a little bit more because it was pretty skippy. Now I'm gonna take, what am I gonna take? I'm gonna take like a packer style brush in the outer corner, and I'm gonna take that same burgundy shade. And I just want to deepen the entire outer corner with it. I'm thinking this can probably get pretty dark, but I might go in with that like deeper gray shade also. So here, I'm gonna take it pretty high like I normally do, just so you can see it when my eye is open. I think literally that's it. Like, I don't need to build this up anymore. I'm going to take this and just kind of like buff the edge right here to marry this part together. But I think that's it. I want to take this shade, I'm pretty sure, to deepen up the bottom part. Let's do that on a pretty precise brush and just pack it down here. I think that I will like that. I don't know yet. And I'm gonna buff it in. Do I like it? I do like it. That does look very good. Very good, darling. All right, let's see if I can't do the same thing on the other side here. I really like this shade, this burgundy shade, because it's so much better than a lot of the burgundy shades that I pick up. They'll look super deep in the pan, and the minute I get them to my lid, they're like this boring, true colored purple. And that's not at all what I want. Sometimes I have to go for like almost black shades to get them to not look like bright purple on my lid. I think that's it. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna like buff these two in together. I am gonna take a little bit more of that orange shade and just kind of go around the edges on both sides. And by the way, I'm going to clean this up. I always make a mess and then have to go back in. That's just how I like to do it. And I think this looks even so far. Oh, the delicate balance of eyeshadow. Okay, I'm going back into the deepest shade in the palette to deepen up the lower part of the left eye. All right, let's get this shimmer on the lid Oof, you guys, I'm so excited for this. So I'm gonna take that purpley shade, which shifts, almost has like green iridescent sparkles, and then like has a purple base to it. I think it'll look really, really stunning. But I almost feel like I could take any one of these shimmers and it would be just fine for a look like this. I'm gonna start out with my finger. Yes. And then I'm gonna finish with the brush. I'm going above my crease with this like I always do. Okay, other side. I'm just spraying a brush to get this on. Wow, these are so creamy though. I would have loved to have been able to do the whole thing with my finger, but that's just not possible. I'm going just above my crease like I always do, you guys. Again, I just kind of create myself a little arch. I want you to see like more of the shimmer. Yeah, it's so much more impactful with your finger with these because they're all very foiled. Just blending out the edges just a little bit. All right, let's go into this side. This brush isn't picking it up super well either, by the way. Yeah, I don't really love it with the brush. These more foiled ones I don't tend to love to pick up with the brush. I prefer them on my finger, and I wish I could get it in there, but I can't. All right, I'm just kind of pushing it out into the corner. I think I'm gonna take this deeper shade and marry these two. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do because I just did it. There's some glitter fall out for sure, but it's not a lot. I'm gonna take a different brush and just dry to put this on. Oh, how come this is picking up so much nicer on this little brush? Just dry. More fallout maybe, but still better. Okay, I don't know why I'm just loving like these mermaidy shades right now. Purple to like green. Flip. Delicious. Oh my gosh, I just dropped this. All right, this is how I clean up my eyes. Before I go into the lower lash line, I like to create a pretty strong edge. So just fold this and I start pretty low in case I need to take it higher, but I don't want to take too much off. And I'm going to clean up some of this fallout on my cheek. It's not a lot, but it's there. I'm going to get the clean side and go into the other side. I'm trying to make them even with uneven eyes. I just threw on some Ardell lashes because I thought it would look good with this look, but let's finish the look together. Actually, I am going to be testing a foundation I haven't used in years, but I repurchased it because it's getting to be like summertime here in Florida, so I'm looking for more mattifying foundations. I have mentioned this on my channel that I'm going to talk about the best foundations that work for combo oily skin here in the hot heat for the summertime. So this is the Pure 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie foundation. Oh, why is this so runny? You guys see this? It's like straight up water. Was it always like that? I don't remember it being like that, but like I can't exactly shake it. So yeah, it's like full on water. All right, well, we're going for it. I'm going to apply this all over and then we can complete the eye look. I am very excited to have this foundation back in my collection. It even worked for me when I had dry skin if I wanted like a more mattifying finish, but it was just a little bit too heavy for me, I feel like, back in the day. Holy smokes, you guys, this is freaking beautiful. I've been going back to all of my foundations that didn't work for me when I had dry skin. And now that my skin is combo, and it's like rediscovering fabulousness. This does come off and should be a concealer. Yeah, it's a doe foot applicator. So I am going to use it as my concealer today. It'll give us a more full coverage concealer, but that's fine. I'm going to set my whole face with the Dior Backstage Powder No Powder because it's here and I've been trying to hit pan on it. This is my second one actually. I loved this so much. I bought the backup of it when I thought maybe they were gonna get rid of it or reformulate it because they were reformulating so many products. So this is actually my backup. I'm pretty sure I've hit pan on the other one, which is in my purse. Actually, let's finish the eye look before we go into blush and bronzer. I'm gonna throw on the ColourPop BFF Cream Gel Liner in my upper waterline. So I was looking for an orange to go into the waterline because I think that would look good. I don't exactly have an orange. I have a bunch of these Supernova Multi-Chrome Gel Liners from Moira, and this one is in the shade Nova, and it comes out kind of orange. It's not like overly shifty. I think it'll be fine. Yeah, I don't know if I like love that exactly. I'm gonna get really close to the lower lash line with the deeper gray shade, basically with like a liner brush, like, and just like this. And I'm gonna go about halfway, and that's it. Same thing on this side, about halfway and into the outer corner. And then I think I'm gonna take a fluffier brush and I'm gonna go into this burgundy shade the whole way, I think is what I want, just below that deeper shade, and just kind of smoke it out. Not too low for me. I don't like it too low. Yes, yes, and more yes. By the way, these Moira liners, you have to like scrub them off, and sometimes that doesn't even do it. I'm going into my e.l.f. Lash Extender Mascara on the lower lashes. Guys, I just went and like put on some blush. I'm testing some new blushes. So we're having some issues with the blush that I put on, but I want to bronze my forehead mostly because I did not throw any bronzer onto my cheeks, which is fine, but I want to add a little bit of summer to the forehead. Spring, I want to add spring to the forehead. Spring on my forehead. Yes. This, by the way, is NARS in Laguna 01. And lip products. Shall I just throw on what I have sitting here? This is the Maybelline Lifter Gloss in the shade 025 Taffy. So this is one of the spring drops from last year. And they came out with like, I want to say 5 or 6 shades in that spring drop. Yes, ma'am. Yes, that is the color of today. How pink and spring do I look? These freaking lashes, like the bands are too big and they're like obvious. I freaking hate that. I don't think these are the wispies, but they're Ardell. Anyway, let's give some final thoughts on the palette. I already told you mostly kind of what I thought, but for $66, there's so many eyeshadow palettes out there that I spend that much money on. I feel like that's kind of like a normal price point, but because you get some really nice shifty shades, like super foiled, but then they become very thin when you swatch them, like delicious. And the quality of the palette was so good, you guys. The mattes blended together really well. Sometimes when I'm doing like a fade like this, what'll happen is like one shade will just swallow the other one whole. These like meld in together. They're like married and they like complement each other, and I love it. And it's like, other than that, it's so hard to describe. Plus, this is a palette that makes sense, you know? It goes in columns here, and then the rows are like shimmers, lighter, and then deeper shades that are complementary. I just thought the quality of this was so freaking good. The package is cute too. I am super excited to have this. Not that I don't have these shades, probably 66 times over, but usually when I get like such a cohesive formula, such a cohesive color story, oftentimes it's palettes like these that I think to reach for because they just make sense for so many things. I mean, you guys saw that I mixed 2 different columns together and I thought it was really nice. You know that you could do that with a palette like this, and you've got some gloomier shades, but then also some brighter shades again, which I think was kind of like the perfect deeper springtime palette, because I don't always go for things that I think you would assume are springtime, which is like, I don't know, lighter shades, more pastels. I tend to go, I think, just a little bit deeper on a lot of my shades, especially in the outer corner. So I thoroughly enjoyed this. I think this is going to be a palette that I absolutely love. And like I mentioned, you guys, I will find you some creator codes and list them in my description box so you don't have to go hunting around. Literally just copy and paste it. If you're interested in checking this out, it does look like it's still available. The first palette, which was the moon and the something, I can't even remember anymore, does look like it's sold out, but this one is still available. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'd love to hear your comments in the comments below. I'm out of here for today, guys, and I hope to catch y'all in my next video. Bye.